Welcome to Weeds That Feed. I'm Andy Dean from the Natural Garden, and this is part one of two parts of Pantry for Wildlife, where each week we look at in a bit more depth at what a plant actually supports. In part two, we'll go on to see if there are any good plant swaps using native as alternatives to ornamentals. Now, I was going to talk about primrose today, as I've a couple out in the garden. I thought it might be a nice change from shrubs that I've done recently. Then I thought they look so much nicer when there's a carpet of them when they're out in full bloom. So what looks good now? With nothing much in bloom, what about box? I thought. Oh my gosh, I wish I'd stuck with primrose. I forgot the minefield of box blight and box caterpillar, which makes supporting case for planting box pretty tricky. I don't have either yet here. Stick with me though. We've got some good workarounds that also support nature. So this week's plant is Buxus Sempervirens. Buxus is pretty quiet, steady stalwart of many gardens. It can be used formally to add structure, low-growing hedge, something like that. It's ecologically fairly quiet. Buxus supports 24 recorded insect interactions, which includes one species of larger moth, 17 other phytophagous and 6 pollinating species. That moth is a satin beauty caterpillar. So box is not in itself a powerhouse for insects, but for a very small group of insects, they have only box to feed on. And I'm sure gardeners are going to hate them because they include 2 mites, 2 ghoul midges, a sap-sucking psyllid, and a lace bug. There's a tongue twister. For these species, box is their only food plant. Box is a native of calcareous soil in southern England, forming dark, dense, evergreen thickets on steep slopes, with its distinctive smell of foxes, or less politely, tomcats. Box is called box because it used to make boxes for little religious objects or chess pieces or printing blocks, that sort of thing. Name comes from the Latin buxus, which translates directly to box, and sempervirens means always green. Box has also long been associated with death and remembrance. Sprigs were carried at funerals and thrown into the graves. Box is not a wildlife powerhouse, but it is a native plant with a narrow specialist fauna, deep cultural roots, historical presence in the landscape. That's it for now for box. Don't forget to tune into part 2. Grow this instead, where we look at some swap outs for ornamentals, where, well, actually in this case we're not going to be talking about box because it's problematic to plant these days. We're going to look at some alternatives and some native alternatives to box. That's in Weeds That Feed. Grow this instead.